He likes that song. Me too. That is 226.
226, yeah.
226 in the 226. The yellow sanduk.
But can you read it with those glasses, Devananda?
Yes, I can.
He Deva Bhavantam Bande. I, the Rupa Gosvāmī.
Yeah, fine.
Hey Deva Bhavantam Bande.
Hey Deva Bhavantam Bande.
Man Manasa Madhuka Mapaya Nija Pada Pankaja Makarande.
Mama Nasa Madhuka Majani Chapada Pankaja Makarande.
Hey Deva Bhavantam Bande. Idam Ismami Nishamya Tavasita Tadasam
translation? It's very beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
O Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. May you place the bumblebee of my mind in the honey of your lotus feet.
Although Brahma in his samadhi cannot obtain a glimpse of even a ray of the tips of the nails of your lotus feet, still, O Achyutya, having heard of the waves of your astonishing mercy, I yearn to see you.
O Madhava, although I have not even a sesame seed of devotion for you, your supreme power can make even the impossible become possible.
O eternal Lord, may the bumblebee of my mind, finding there the most wondrous sweetness, eternally stay in the honey of your lotus feet, which rebuke the sweetest nectar.
What is rebuke?
Chastise. Chastise, you know.
So we sing, Didi, you want to sing the one before, 225?
Yeah.
And these are all songs that sung in the Master Kārtik, yeah.
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Radhite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Maite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Damodara-rati Vadana Veshe Hariniskuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Vrinda Vipineshe. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Visuvanudari Navasashileke Lalita Shaki Kṛṣṇadāsa Vishake. Visuvanudari Navasashileke Lalita Shaki Kṛṣṇadāsa Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Shanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite. 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 Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite.
Hare Krishna. We would usually sing these songs on Radhastami, but it's also that this month is representative of Śrīmati Radharani, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
The highest one. Yeah. Mahaprabhu's even worshipping.
Her mother is called Kirtida of Kirtika. Kirtida.
Yeah.
And a name for Śrīmati Radharani is Kartika.
Kārtika, all right. Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Shrimati Radharani's mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Vrisubhanu Raj is her father.
Bab Pundarik.
Vrisubhanu Raj.
Yeah, Bab Pundarik.
Yes, also in Gaura-līlā. Yeah, when we sing and we read the translation, it has a different, the focus is on Radha and Krishna, and it's very, very beautiful. They all, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote these songs, and
This is Rupa Gosvāmī, the one that is
Rupa Gosvāmī, and then the Kārtik song is by 245 here.
By Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Is by Sri Satyavrat Muni, the Sri Damodarastakam. Very, very beautiful. Shall we read Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta then? And Mahaprabhu is non-different than Sri Radha Krishna. In the form of the Savior of us, to rescue us from this material world. Jai Saraswati Devi Jai Gurudev. And we are at Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā chapter 2, the ecstatic manifestation of Lord Chaitanya. We are at verse 28. Or 29. Topics about Krishna are like waves of nectar. If such nectar does not enter one's ear, the ear is no better than the hole of a damaged conch shell. Such an ear is created for no purpose. The palms of Krishna's hands and the soles of his feet are so cool and pleasant that they can be compared only to the light of millions of moons. One who has touched such hands and feet has indeed tasted the effects of touchstone. If one has not touched them, his life is spoiled and his body is like iron. Lamenting in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the doors of grief within his heart. Morose, humble and disappointed, he read a verse again and again with a despondent heart. Purport by Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the word danya, humility, is explained as follows. When unhappiness, fearfulness, and the sense of having offended combine, one feels condemned. This sense of condemnation is described as dinata, humility. When one is subjected to such humility, he feels bodily inactive. He apologizes and his consciousness is disturbed. His mind is also restless and many other symptoms are visible. The word nirveda is also explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. One may feel unhappiness and separation as well as jealousy and lamentation due to not discharging one's duties. The despondency that results is called nirveda. When one is captured by this despondency, thoughts, tears, loss of bodily luster, humility and heavy breathing result. Visada is also explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. When one fails to achieve the desired goal of life and repents for all his offenses, there is a state of regret called visada. The symptoms of visada are also explained. One hankers to revive his original condition and inquires how to do so. There are also deep thought, heavy breathing, crying and lamentation, as well as the changing of the bodily color and drying up of the tongue. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 33 such destructive symptoms are mentioned. They are expressed in words, in the eyebrows and in the eyes. These symptoms are called Vya Bichari Bhava, destructive ecstasy. If they continue, they are sometimes called Sanchari, or continued ecstasy. If by chance the transcendental form of Krishna comes before my path of vision, my heart, injured from being beaten, will be stolen away by Cupid. Happiness personified, because I could not see the beautiful form of Krishna to my heart's content. When I again see his form, I shall decorate the faces of time with many jewels. This is a verse spoken by Srimati Radharani. Whenever I had the chance to see Lord Krishna's face and his flute, even in a dream, two enemies would appear before me. They were pleasure and Cupid, and since they took away my mind, I was not able to see the face of Krishna to the full satisfaction of my eyes. If by chance such a moment comes when I can once again see Krishna, then I shall worship those seconds, moments and hours with flower garlands and pulp of sandalwood and decorate them with all kinds of jewels and ornaments. How beautiful. Everything is a person in the highest realm, Goloka Vrindavan. Everything is personal. Everything has a personal feature, has a personal manifestation. In an instant, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regained external consciousness and saw two persons before him, questioning them. He asked, "Am I conscious? What dreams have I been seeing? What craziness have I spoken? Have you heard some expressions of humility?" Purport. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus spoke in ecstasy, he saw two persons before him. One was his secretary, Swarup Damodar, and the other was Rai Ramananda. Coming to his external consciousness, he saw them both present, and though he was still talking in ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, he immediately began to question whether he was the same Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, "My dear friends, you are all my life and soul. Therefore I tell you that I possess no wealth of love for Krishna. Consequently, my life is poverty-stricken. My limbs and senses are useless." Jai. Again he addressed both Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, speaking despondently, "Alas, my friends, you can know how the certainty within my heart, and after knowing my heart, you should judge whether I am correct or not. You can speak of this properly." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then began to chant another verse. Love of Godhead, devoid of cheating propensities, is not possible within this material world. If there is such love, there cannot be separation, for if there is separation, how can one live? Pure love for Krishna, just like gold from the Jambu river, does not exist in human society. If it existed, there could not be separation. If separation were there, one could not live. Thus speaking, the son of Srimati Sachi recited another wonderful verse, and Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar heard this verse with rapt attention. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "I feel shameful to disclose the activities of my heart. Nonetheless, I shall be done with all formalities and speak from the heart. Please hear." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, "My dear friends, I have not the slightest tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. When you see me crying in separation, I'm just falsely exhibiting a demonstration of my great fortune. Indeed, not seeing the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, I continued to live my life as an insect without purpose. Actually, my love for Krishna is far, far away. Whatever I do is actually false. When you see me cry, I'm simply exhibiting my great fortune. Please try to understand this beyond a doubt. Even though I do not see the moon-like face of Krishna playing on his flute, and although there is no possibility of my meeting him, still I take care of my own body. That is the way of lust. In this way I maintain my fly-like life. Purport. In this connection, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the lovable Supreme Lord is the supreme shelter. The Lord is the supreme subject, and the devotees are the object. The coming together of a subject and object is called alambana. The object hears, and the subject plays the flute. That the object cannot see the moon-like face of Krishna and has no eagerness to see him is the sign of being without alambana. Externally, imagining such a thing simply satisfies one's lusty desires, and thus one lives without purpose. Love for Lord Krishna is very pure, just like the waters of the Ganges. That love is an ocean of nectar. That pure attachment to Krishna does not conceal any spot, which would appear just like a spot of ink on a white cloth. Purport. Unalloyed love of Krishna is just like a big sheet of white cloth. Absence of attachment is compared to a black spot on that white cloth. Just as the black spot is prominent, so the absence of love of God is prominent on the platform of pure love of Godhead. So that is this world where we're living in. It is absence of love of God, and then it's like a black spot on a white cloud. What Krishna is giving us all, and even in this material world, how we're behaving is like a black spot on all the goodness Krishna has provided for us. Our body, our environment, our faculties that we can do, can actually detach ourselves from this material world and engage in devotional service. That is all the goodness of the Lord. Mahaprabhu came with that for us. Unalloyed love of Krishna is like the ocean of happiness. If someone gets one drop of it, the whole world can drown in that drop. It is not befitting to express such love of Godhead, yet a madman must speak. However, even though he speaks, no one believes him. In this way, Lord Chaitanya used to revel in ecstasy day after day and exhibit these ecstasies before Swarup and Ramananda Roy. Externally, there appeared severe tribulation, as if he were suffering from poisonous effects, but internally he was experiencing bliss. This is characteristic of transcendental love of Krishna. If one tastes such love of Godhead, he can compare it to hot sugar cane. When one chews hot sugar cane, his mouth burns, yet he cannot give it up. Similarly, if one has but a little love of Godhead, he can perceive its powerful effects. It can only be compared to poison and nectar mixed together. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke, "My dear beautiful friend, if one develops love of Godhead, love of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, all the bitter and sweet influences of this love will manifest in one's heart. Such love of Godhead acts in two ways. The poisonous effects of love of Godhead defeat the severe and fresh poison of the serpent. Yet there is simultaneously transcendental bliss, which pours down and defeats the pride of nectar and diminishes its value. In other words, love of Krishna is so powerful that it simultaneously defeats the poisonous effects of a snake, as well as the happiness derived from pouring nectar on one's head. It is perceived as doubly effective, simultaneously poisonous and nectarian. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath along with Balaram and Subhadra, he would immediately think that he had reached Kurukshetra, where all of them had come. He would think that his life was successful because he had seen the lotus-eyed one, whom, if seen, pacifies the body, mind and eyes. Staying near the Garuda Stamba, the Lord would look upon Lord Jagannath. What can be said about the strength of that love? On the ground, beneath the column of the Garuda Stamba, was a deep ditch, and that ditch was filled with the water of his tears. When coming from the Jagannath temple to return to his house, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sit on the ground and mark it with his nails. At such times he would be greatly morose and would cry, "Alas, where is Vrindavan? Where is Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men? Where is that person who plays the flute?" Yeah, I said poison because I was thinking about poison, how it is mentioned here. I'm not sure, but I think the nectar is when seeing Krishna and seeing his beauty, and the poison is being in separation of Krishna, but then we can say in separation that is the highest, because that will increase the hankering, that will increase the supreme feelings for the Lord, the love for the Lord. That will happen in the separation. So, for us also, by practicing the teachings of our gurus and Mahaprabhu, it's like if that separation of feeling separate from our gurus and separate from Krishna and his associates, and separation of the Lord, that of Lord Krishna and his entourage, that is something to cultivate actually in us, that we are not getting too comfortable in this material world. We don't belong to this material world. It's not a place for us to actually have solid ground. We belong to another place. And when we, especially this time of Kārtik, when we sing the beautiful songs of Kārtik and see the translation, then we see that is our home. Here is not our home. There is our home, and there we feel like longing to go there, to have an honest and like an longing to become more pure and to have more surrender in our life, not to get so comfortable in this material world. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to lament by saying, "Where is Sri Krishna, whose form is curved in 3 places? Where is the sweet song of his flute? And where is the bank of the Jamuna? Where is the rasa dance? Where is that dancing, singing and laughing? Where is my Lord, Madan Mohan, the enchanter of Cupid?" So that is that place where there's singing so sweet, and the flute song, and the bank of the Jamuna, and the beautiful surroundings, and the rasa dance is happening, and dancing and singing and laughing, and in the most beautiful, transcendental, divine way. We have some experience here in the material world, but it is a perverted expression of that highest realm. In this way, various ecstatic emotions evolved, and the Lord's mind, filled with anxiety, he could not escape even for a moment. In this way, because of fierce feelings of separation, his patience began to totter, and he began to recite various verses. So it's very nice that in this month of the beginning, now that we have today, that we simultaneously read the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Chaitanya. So it's a combination of these two. Very, very beautiful. Jai, Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Madhya-līlā chapter 2, the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Chaitanya ki jai. Jai Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Śrīla Gurudeva.
Who's going to sing?
That's amazing, man. That all coincided with the start of Kārtik, because you're just carrying on, and it's all coincided.
What do you say?
It's always coinciding, yes.
Yeah, it's called coinciding with the start of Kārtik today.
Yeah.
Of Caitanya-caritāmṛta.
So beautiful.
It's so high, really. This stuff is all high. It's Mahaprabhu in the mood of Śrīmati Radharani, saying, without Krishna Prema, human society can't exist, or we can't live. And yet we are living, but we don't have Krishna Prema. So we're like empty shells, like empty vessels, like a jug without any milk, a jug without any nectar in it.
Yeah, but there's hope. There's hope.
Yeah,
Like if we continue with the chanting, if we continue with our service life, continuing with hearing about Mahaprabhu, continuing with hearing about Radha and Krishna, then that love will how do you say, kindle? It will kindle in us, in the soul, because it's so the soul under the layers of material comfort and thinking that we are something different than the soul. Then it's a bit cluttered. It's covered. But by hearing, by chanting, the layers get off of the soul, and ultimately we will have a little sprout of that love of Godhead. That is our future. Yeah. Our gurus came with that. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, "I am not coming here to give you something. It's already in yourself. I'm just coming to tell you, get rid of the layers. Practice the layers." Bhakti yoga means also a discipline. It is a discipline to say, okay, I'm not listening to my mind. I'm listening to what my gurus have come to tell me to to practice. Bhakti yoga is a discipline.
But Gurudev has planted the seed, and Gurudev is uncovering, helping that, like excavate. But he said it's his grace, the Bhakti-līlā beach is actually bringing that out, isn't it? Yeah, from his grace.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we got the seed with the initiation, from a pure Vaishnava, from the highest order, the Uttama-adhikari, the highest order Vaishnavas. We got the seed, and now watering that seed, what you say, the Bhakti-līlā, then it will grow, and simultaneously the weeds grow. But we have to take care. Take care. Take the weeds.
Be a good gardener like Devananda. Right. Good gardener pulling out the weeds. Yeah.
Yeah, we all have
it's very
to.
Very high and very beautiful. Yeah.
We are very fortunate. Yeah. Jai.
Yeah, fortunate.
Kavirāja nama Kṛṣṇadāsa nama.
Kavirāja nama Kṛṣṇadāsa nama.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya nama.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya nama.
Gopala Govindaram Sri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinath Nana Mohana. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta Sri Advaita-chanda. Kṛṣṇadāsa Siva Sari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Raghunatha. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha. Jaya Sabai Kasi Sikur Kuranga Sunarada Kiridari Juki Jai. Devananda Pavisi.
Jai Shishi Guru Ganga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Juki Jai.
Jai.
Shishi Guru Ganga Vara Giridhari Juki Jai.
Jai.
Paramamsa Parivata Kichai Rai Asataka Shishi Shema. Shrivashi Sundar Govinda Dankar Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Paramamsa Parivata Kichai Rai Asataka Shishi Shema. Shri Daikar Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Paramamsa Parivata Kichai Rai Asataka Shishi Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Sai Swami Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Gurukha Shardas Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Satchidananda Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. David Devoshana Ki Jai. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Shamanandi Srinivasa Acharya Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Ki Jai. 6 Gosvāmīs of Vrindavan Ki Jai. Kṛṣṇadāsa Ki Jai. Srimad Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shri Kun Radha Kun Giridhara Kavirāja Ki Jai. Shri Radha Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Vignavinah Shari Sri Nisingade Ki Jai. Tlachi Mahawani Ki Jai. Tri Gurukame Ki Jai. Ganga Janamati Ki Jai. Bhakti Bhagavatam Chaitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. Vajra Sabha Ki Jai. Pamat Vajra Sri Caitanya Ki Jai. SCSMath Ki Jai. Sri Caitanya Saraswati Ki Jai. Sri Vyāpi Jai SCSMath Ki Jai. Maipur Ki Jai. Sri Dhamma Ki Jai. Purushottam Dham Ki Jai. Haridas Sri Jagannath Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Ki Jai. Sri Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. Vaishnava Madhya Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All the devotees all over the world Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Sankirtan Ki Jai.
Murari Gupta Tirubhav Mahotsav Ki Jai. Sri Kārtik Month Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
Jai.